Anime Summit, Episode 6.
What the fuck you hitting?
I'm not hitting anything. It's my fucking cat. Shut up!
Hello and welcome to the Anime Summit Podcast, Episode 6. So we had a successful launch last week, and hopefully some of you have subscribed and are coming back from that. Anyway, I am Kwoka, and with myself I have Nick.
Yampasu. That's my greeting, guys.
Mac.
It'll make sense later.
There totally was not any technical difficulties before this. We totally just went right into this.
And the cat-loving Psalm.
Meow.
Just do the Colin Mockery from Whose Lines It Anyway? Just say meow. Dude, you've seen that, right, though?
Dude, yeah. Dude, what if I just was like, what if Eric was just like, and we have Sam, and I was just like, meow.
Super Troopers meow.
Meow. Meow.
Meow. What we got here is a problem.
Now, I just want to, just really quick, say something at the beginning of this podcast. Over the weekend, something kind of tragic happened, and I think it affected all of us as anime lovers and gamers alike. Satoru Iwata passed away from an illness he had. For our listeners who don't know who that is the CEO of Nintendo. And yeah, no, it was really depressing. It was really sad for a Nintendo lover such as myself and Nick. It was pretty sad. So I want my voice in this podcast, in this particular episode, to be for him. So this one's for you, buddy.
I'm sorry.
When you said something tragic, I thought you were going to say, I realized my waifu was trash.
Well, he should already know that. I mean, come on.
You did also watch K-On! This last weekend.
I did. I started watching it.
And you
Yeah,
learned that
speaking
your
of much
waifu was
happier
trash.
things.
Dude, oh my god. Started watching K-On! A couple nights ago because these dicks were like, Cowboy Bebop is better than K-On! And I was like, that's just stupid. Like, and
Okay,
Just
so
mix that up a little bit.
It's
But
a half
watching-
scroll. Like, it's
watch-
apples and oranges. They're different shows.
yeah, watching it now, it's I love it so much. Even the first two episodes is all I've seen, but I love it a lot. But
And you
it's
still
better in
have
season
another 34 episodes in a movie?
so that's
Oh,
what I was
and
gonna
specials,
ask.
OVAs.
That's what I was gonna ask. Do you have to watch it, the movie last, or is that in between?
Yeah,
The
movie
movie's
last
chronologically last, but it's not too bad to miss everything that's in season 2. It's just if you don't know Azunyan, then you can't really watch the movie, and she shows up halfway through season 1.
Oh, okay.
I don't really need to know Azunyan. She's like the worst.
Well, for the purpose of the movie,
I just
'cause
want
the
to watch.
movie revolves heavily around,
It's
her.
funny because she'd be the best girl in any other show, but
I just want to watch. I just want to watch everything in the right order. That's all.
just watch it in like basically release order. Season 1, season 2. Actually, you can
the
watch
movie is a great wrap up to the
yeah,
whole thing.
there's a couple OVAs in there too that take place during season 1 and season 2, which are basically just extra episodes.
Okay.
They're K-On! They're good.
Yeah, I started watching that because I said I would.
Great
you
description.
just love yourself a little bit more, don't you?
A little bit.
Dude, we gotta make
Sick.
you watch more Kyo Annie shows.
It's kind of hard to like. I'm trying to just starting this new job and stuff. I'm trying to stick everything in and whatever. But yeah,
Well,
dude.
make sure you use some lube whenever you stick shit in.
That's a butt joke.
But who comes out of there?
That's
Alright,
the
now
quality
it does it.
content we promise.
But yeah, no,
Just
yeah,
spit
no.
on it.
So yeah, dude, Satoru Iwata, this one's for you, bro. I got you. I
May
got
he
you,
rip in
fam.
peace.
Yeah, dude.
Rest in peace.
Rest in paradise. You can tell all your, past loved ones up there that Nintendo is dominating the handheld world right now. And, I mean, that's awesome, because PSP
Well,
and PS Vita sucks.
Dude, what
Aside
about my
from, like,
N-Gage, man?
Samsung.
Shut up, Eric.
What was... Oh, the Zune. Yeah, dude. Zune is pretty dope, right?
Yeah,
That makes sense,
Zune.
that sentence. That was
Yeah,
like 10 years.
Just recently got out of the Marine Corps, finally, after 6 years. Go me.
Congratulations.
Wait, so
Ooh.
how wait, when was that? When were you done?
Woohoo.
On Monday, I, got my "you are no longer a slave" paperwork.
Oh wow.
I became a free elf.
12 years as Marine.
Only 6, but whatever.
Well, yeah, 12 divided by 2 years. Marine.
So I'm also using my backup mic that I just bought because my other mic is being shipped over. So hopefully I sound at least okay.
Wait, so where were you stationed at?
I was in San Diego.
Oh, so you're back home now.
Yes, in Sacramento. I know, long travel.
But
yeah,
still,
I have a buddy in the Navy. They have a lot
I
of
did get
coastal
I think I showed you guys, I got a sweet little box with a plaque on it and my ribbons and rank, and it has Sailor Jupiter figure on top of it. That was my going away gift. Link in the show notes.
Link in
Sailor
the show
Jupiter
notes.
is like the
Link in the
most
show.
Marine-like Sailor Scout. if you
Well,
think about it.
she's best girl.
I mean, she's not actually Sailor Mars is kind of like Bubbles and stuff, but that's not Marines. Like Marines are just like they fight stuff. I don't know. I don't really know anything about Marines, but I'm just projecting.
Sailor Jupiter has the best color coordination because
Well,
she's
she's
brunette with
tall.
the dark green and the pink ribbon, and she has the longest legs of all the Sailor Senshi.
Sailor Jupiter was best girl, and then Sailor Neptune came in, and I was like, "What's up, baby?"
Sailor Uranus.
Just imagine Sam
Real
putting his
talk,
arm around
though.
her.
Real talk.
No, man, Usagi's always the best. Sailor Moon, because she's so funny. She just like
Princess
plays video
Serenity.
games.
Spoilers.
I haven't watched any Crystal yet. I'm gonna start watching that too, actually.
It's almost over. Actually, it's finishing this week. Crystal should be done by
How many episodes is it? Just like 20 something?
26, 25, 26.
Is there gonna be like another season though?
It just took them like 3 years to get 26 episodes out.
Feels like it. It was like a full year because it was every other week. So
It
yeah,
was
26 episodes
terrible.
every other week.
I mean, the show was good, but that 2-week wait for every episode made me stop watching.
Yeah, I mean, just marathon it now. Like it's worth it. It's different from the
But
original. 'cause
there's
it's
too many
like-
other shows to watch, which brings
Yeah.
us to the topic of this show.
Oh, technically, it is a summer airing show because it's
It
finishing
is.
now.
It's just not going to be one of the ones that we really talk about. Because it
Oh,
didn't really
it's-
subscribe to seasons. They kind of just popped in and started being like, yeah, we're going to release some episodes.
Sailor Moon Crystal, above average, but not as good as the original. There.
Even though it is more faithful to the original manga.
Yeah, it's more story focused. Like manga, it just kind of goes through it. It does have some
Anyway,
better
yes.
parts. Like I like the battles.
We're here
better.
to talk about summer 2015 first impressions because most shows are at between 1 and 3 episodes released so far.
Are we not including the spring carryovers?
We're going to mostly be focusing on summer specific shows simply because people want to know what to start watching, not what was good to start watching 12 weeks ago. Show I'm going to talk about is Gangsta, not Gangster, Gangsta with an A at the end, just to impress upon you how gangsta it really is. 3 episodes are out. It's pretty good. I think it's set in Italy. It's basically about 2 guys that are handymen, and by handymen we mean that they clean up your criminal problems and do your illegal stuff. One of them is a gigolo, and the other is a former drugged up mercenary that basically kills the shit out of anybody, and he's deaf, which is pretty interesting. And it's nice that they have a lot of sign language, so they even have Japanese subtitles. And then sometimes he also speaks, but he sounds like a deaf person trying to speak Japanese.
Right.
So they still have to put subtitles on him in the Japanese, and then the English ones over those ones. Seems pretty cool so far. Have any of you been watching it all?
Yeah, I'm caught up to it. The 3rd episode aired today. We should also mention it's by Studio MALGlobe, and they've made shows like Samurai
MALGlobe.
Flamenco and Ergo Proxy. So kind
Ergo
of.
Proxy sucks.
I was wondering how long it'd be before we heard Sam say that something sucked.
We've gone 12 minutes without saying something sucks. Reset
The time to suck was only 12 minutes.
But yeah, Gangsta's pretty good. I like it.
I like
people
the-
compare it to Black Lagoon. Has anyone else here seen Black Lagoon?
Dude.
Yes, that comparison seems pretty good. I was almost going to say that they haven't exactly established where they are, but it seems very much like a Roanapur type place, except more European, while Roanapur was very Southeast Asian.
Yeah, I think.
But
I
they
think
are
it
both
takes
places
place
where it's
in,
like where the criminals kind of start to gather, where it starts to become, the police are there, sort of, but they're there more to pick whichever criminals are the least criminal and side with them.
Yeah, well, it's like controlled chaos. They don't want to have like power vacuums and stuff,
Yeah.
so they let them do is just enough.
Like, hey, if the guys that are only killing the people that cross them and not the guys that are killing everybody.
Yeah, well, it's like it's a little bit. Gangsta is more smooth and toned down compared to Black Lagoon. Black Lagoon is
So
just
far.
like balls to the wall, fucking like guns everywhere, swearing every 5 seconds, and Gangsta is like
Yeah, it has a little bit more class, but at the same time,
it's
didn't.
more subdued.
Black Lagoon didn't just start like that.
I think Black Lagoon was just like pure action the whole story.
No, it still took a few episodes. It just kept building more and more as it went.
Episode 1 had like a lot of action. I remember.
Had a bit, but so did Gangsta.
Yeah, I think a guy, I don't know who did a video. He counted up the amount of action in Black Lagoon compared to Gangsta, and Black Lagoon had like 2 or 3 extra minutes of action in just the first episode specifically. But that's not to say it's better. It's just they're slightly different in what they're trying to do.
Dude, the style of this looks fucking cool, dude.
Oh yeah, we are gonna link Mal pages and the OP in the show notes, so you can get a nice little feel for what the show's about, or
Yeah,
and its style.
I really like the style in the manga too, and they definitely translated that pretty good over to the way that the style of animation, which I appreciate, especially with Crying Freeman and like Shingeki no Kyojin. Like they want to translate that directly into the animation, and I appreciate that. It just looks really cool. Like I'm looking at the cover of Volume 1 of the manga. I think this is Nicholas with the dog tags, right? He's got the dog tags on the sword.
Yes,
that's
he's a
me.
tag.
My name's
Yeah.
Nicholas.
No, not you.
Character.
He looks so badass. He's like, fuck with me, homie. Like,
Yeah, so
The way he
Nick would
talks
be
is,
the
he's, like, really
deaf
gravelly.
mercenary.
oh, he's the deaf one. Okay.
He's like fucking baka, and he just like.
Well, that's
slices.
because he sounds like a deaf person talking.
Well, yeah, but he's got a gravelly voice too. It's like
Okay, I'm gonna post this
I
picture
realize
in
sounds
our
different.
thing. See, but like, yeah, this friggin', I should start watching this. This looks sick. So they do odd jobs for the police and the mob. Is
Yeah,
what
So
I'm
so
reading?
far, yeah, and a doctor.
Oh, okay.
it was also a badass.
This looks
He'd
awesome.
be kind of like, in the way that he's badass is the same way that the nun is badass in Black Lagoon, where it kind of just comes out of nowhere. You're like, oh shit, this person's.
I'm sitting here actually. I pulled up the Mal page while y'all were talking about it, and yeah, I may pick that show up as well. I have a lot of shows to pick up. I just haven't picked them all up yet. Too much to carry. But
I almost want to see at least one episode of every single show this season, since I have that kind of time now. But I'm also trying to start on a journey to unlock or at least a lot of achievements on MALgraphs.
Oh,
Achievement Hunter.
I thought you were gonna go on like a drug-induced journey with like go to South America and like go to raves. Lusty venture.
Yeah.
I could see him doing that actually.
No, well, I'm gonna be going to Japan. I finally have enough frequent flyer points to go for free
nice.
by abusing the shit out of the credit card systems.
I will say, I will make a comment.
Right.
While you go to Japan, can you go to Akihabara and go
I'm
to the
gonna
card
be
shop?
in Akiba for 2 weeks.
Okay, go into the card shop.
The card shop, is that what it's called? Or is there just one? If I ask somebody, hey, where's the card shop?
I don't remember the name of it, but there's literally like 4 or 5 floors, and one floor's got like all Yu-Gi-Oh, and then one floor's got like all Weiss and Vanguard, and
They
dude,
theme their floors. That's what I've heard of that in Japan. They do that.
yo, for my birthday tomorrow, get me a trial.
Actually,
deck.
I'd heard about a department store in Japan that was like first floor was very normal stuff, and then it was like second floor was manga, third floor was anime, fourth floor was like swords and shit, and then the fifth floor was like serious bondage hardcore porn stuff. And then somebody had gone in there and like bought swords and reenacted something that happened in one of the porn and killed a bunch of people, so they just bulldozed the whole place and replaced it.
Aw.
I was gonna
One
say,
guy
third
ruined
floor
it
is
for
the boss.
everybody.
I know.
Okay, well, while you're there, go into like that cool card shop I'm telling you about. Get me a Chapter 7 Final Fantasy trading card game trial deck for my birthday tomorrow.
For your birthday tomorrow, I'll get you something in September.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Sounds
Oh, it's
legit.
fine. He'll just he'll send a D-mail. Go to the right timeline. Dude, don't go to that wrong timeline though. In Steins Gate, spoilers.
And Steins Gate spoilers.
Massive Steins Gate spoiler, kind of.
the Alpha line.
No,
Not
it's
Animal
like
Planet.
Futurama. If it keeps sending it into the future far enough, it'll end up in the past.
Yeah.
And then you become
Dude,
your
that
own
episode of
grandfather.
Futurama.
Because time's just a circle.
No, when they like, you talk about that episode where they just keep going forward and like they're
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
just see all of existence like restart.
like 3 or 4 times, but someone keeps they keep screwing
And
it
then I think they kept missing it. They're like, we need to slow down. Nope, missed it.
up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
one of them opens up the freaking time capsule pod in the middle of their little time skip thing and does a drive-by shooting of Hitler in history. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
yeah.
I totally remember that. How many time episodes did they have in that show? They had another one where Fry became his own grandfather. I think that was funny.
Yep.
Dude, Futurama's my favorite anime though. It's pretty good.
It is pretty good. I think I watched the entire series in one weekend one time.
That show was so, and the series finale was just so good. Like the way they ended it was so amazing. I cried. It was so good.
Dude, my other favorite anime though is Family Guy
Amy,
and Simpsons.
best girl. Okay, so
Hey,
back
we
to
love
actual
it.
anime.
I was gonna
Let's
say
get back to
like,
the actual anime.
so
Back to
Mac
actual
was gonna
anime.
say something.
Maybe. Does Mac want to say something?
About what? Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. But about what? Anyways, as far as the currently airing shows that I've been watching a few, still trying to get caught up with all of them. But the one I'll talk about tonight is called Ranpo Kitan Game of La Place. As far as two episodes
what
in
studio
go,
does that one?
what studio? Let me look at the Mal page. Well, it says the producers Funimation Entertainment and Lurch.
Oh, Lurch. They got a couple other
LERCHE.
ones out this season too.
Anyways, this is like a mystery anime, and I love mysteries. I really do. That and romance. Lots of romance. Romance is
So
good.
it's Detective Conan.
No. This show can get pretty freaking gory.
Oh,
But it's
like
done
Kippa.
tastefully. It's done tastefully. But anyways, like first episode, like a horrific graphic murder happens, and this guy who's apparently been kind of boring and everything in his class, he's just like, "Oh, that's kind of interesting." And then somebody frames him for it, and then he takes a major interest in it, and he tries to investigate it for the first 2 episodes, and he figures everything out. But in the middle of this, he meets this other genius detective who is also a student called Akechi. Basically, if you've ever seen House, I saw a lot of House in Akechi. I mean, this guy's like got his bottle of pills. He has this classy looking room that he stays in. He grinds up the pills. He constantly pops the pills. He's House. Oh, and he's got the attitude of House. It's pretty great. I'm kind of expecting great things out of this show this season. Well, at least from what I've seen for the past 2 episodes, anyways. It seems to be fairly interesting, and as long as they don't go too tasteless with the gore, I mean, I understood every bit of what they did, and it was well warranted as far as the show is concerned. So no gripe from me there. It kind of takes a little bit of
I'm still dealing with this cat.
What did you say? Is it the cat again? Is it the cat?
Sorry, fucking cat was being a damn
Dude,
cat.
Sam, a cat is fine too. Does anyone else get that?
I do. I do. A cat is fine.
Google it at your own risk.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's really not that bad.
Anyways, as far as the story's been going though so far, I can say that it does take a little bit of a toll on your suspension of disbelief while you're watching it. Because
As
some
one
things,
thing, going back to what we had talked about last week, it's all in high school, right? Just horribly graphic murders happening in this high school.
yeah, and then like this kid, all right, this genius detective Akechi is like part of this super secret government agency that basically takes gifted kids and puts them to work as detectives, and they can basically like skip school. So,
But he still wants to have just a normal high school life.
no, this
Yeah,
guy,
they gotta make
no.
the high school fucking party day. What do they
This
call
guy
that?
like literally doesn't care. And,
The
and I forgot to
festival,
mention
the culture
this.
festival.
Yeah, culture festival. There we go.
I forgot to mention this.
Gotta
The main
play,
the main
hula
character,
time.
Kobayashi. This guy.
Does he eat a lot of hot dogs?
Oh!
No, I've never
Dude, that
seen him
man's
eat
a
a hot
hero.
dog, but he probably should because he sounds and looks effeminate. And they even pointed out in the anime, so yeah, maybe he does
So
eat hot
just
dogs.
like the real Kobayashi.
Wait, the real Kobayashi is gay?
Nobody said gay.
I mean, look how
Where
many
did you
hot
get
dogs
gay
eat,
from?
So, just saying. No, I have no idea. I'm just commenting.
Well, I'm just saying, if he is, line me up. Damn, he's cute as fuck.
Break out the lube.
Dude, that dude can put a sandwich
Tom, you gotta
away
be
in like
careful,
10
buddy.
seconds.
Weird
So
reference.
why should we watch Ranpo Kitan? Because I had not even heard about this.
Because from what it's shown so far, even though it kind of treads a little bit on the whole suspension of disbelief aspect, I think that it has the makings of being a good show. But as far as things are going right now, I don't think it's going to be best show because there's some things that I'm seeing that I'm like, that could be done better, or they really shouldn't have done that. And I'm not going to go too far into it.
And how many episodes are we in so far?
2.
2, and they're already having some issues.
They're like minor little gripes of how they've done things. They're not major shining flaws where I'm just like, they really shouldn't have done that. I'm just like, okay, that works, but they maybe shouldn't have taken that
You
route.
shouldn't have done that. He's just a boy. Gotta make that every time.
He's just
Sorry.
a Care Bear. I don't know why. Okay, just like for our listeners, we're just all really goofy today, so shut up. Like,
We're all coming off of how successful that launch was. Outside of those
Yeah.
Reddit downvotes.
yeah, screw you.
Darn Reddit. Yeah, Reddit. Why you do that?
Why
I mean,
you do-
come on.
Why?
Why you do
I
that?
blame, what's her name? Pow?
Ellen
Pow.
Powell.
The CEO lady who had to quit.
It was specifically her.
Yeah, it's her fault.
Specifically, yes. She rigged the downvoting system. Yeah. No.
She's just
yes.
like wringing her hands together and cackling as she downvotes us.
So Nick, what do you got, man?
Yeah, what you got, bro?
Dude, I got Non Biyori repeat. Okay, this one's a little bit cheating because it is a season 2, but it kind of mixes into season 1. Okay, so Non Biyori is by Studio Silverlink, and they have done a number of other shows such as Watamote and Kokoro Connect and Strike the Blood, some other stuff.
Watamote.
Yeah, Watamote.
Watamote, wanna go, bro? Wanna go?
And no, I don't want to go. I'm scared. But yeah, Non Biyori is it's a slice of life moe show, so you're gonna get a lot of cute things. Renge is the best girl. She's not a waifu because she's in first grade. Just to make that clear. But
No, dude, I know you're eyeballing that.
no,
Come on,
sorry, man.
be real with me.
Senju Gahara is all I got. But yeah, so anyway, it's moe. What they do is the show takes place in the sticks, as they call it, or the countryside, where there's not much city life going on, and it takes place with these there's like 4 main girls who all go to this one tiny school, and they're all in different grades. It's just stories about their everyday life, and it's very cute. What's the word for it? It's kind of calming, actually, because the landscapes and atmosphere of the show lends itself to that. It's a good summer show overall, and I would highly recommend the first season as well. Does anybody else have any thoughts on Non Biyori? Anybody?
Nyan Pasu.
Does it satisfy your inner 13-year-old girl?
Yes. Had to think. Okay, so you guys know about K-On! Though. We were talking about K-On!
Well, of course.
Non Biyori is somewhat similar to K-On! Because there's the main group of girls, and they do cute things. So if you like K-On!, you'll probably like Non Biyori. If you like
Okay,
Yo
but
Anime
wait,
in general.
wait.
But wait, there's more.
And that's why I said non-pasu at the beginning. 'cause
Okay,
that's
but
what
like,
the
here's the
does.
thing. Okay, nice foreshadowing. Yes, good job. But like,
Nyan Pasu.
but like,
There's a button you can press. says
K-On!
non-pasu.
though, like, I'm not trying to. I watched the first episodes of K-On! Now, for our listeners who are still listening, the ones who haven't left yet after what Eric and Nick said last week, about K-On being better than Cowboy Bebop.
Blasphemy.
It's totally
Absolute blasphemy.
For
It's
those
better at being cute.
for those of you who are still listening, K-On, the way it presents itself and carries itself and its beautiful style, holds its own and reserves its right to be in the anime world, and its current, like, it's just really good.
Dude, you've
I've
seen
only seen
2 episodes.
I know.
It's
but
better too.
I know. Okay, right, yeah. So shut up. Anyways, like,
You don't even know Azunon yet.
No.
Just wait till you get to Ballad of the Fallen Angel.
Okay, I'm trying to say something. Okay, yeah, I got it. Just shut up. So, like, Non Biyori, this stuff looks like just some cutesy poopy poop. Okay, K-On actually has a purpose.
Dude, why do you gotta hate on my
Cutesy
show and
poopy
not their shows?
Because our shows are good.
Because your shows suck.
Oh, no way is Game of Lapis better than Non Biyori. No way.
Dude, the first 2 sounded interesting. Non Biyori sounds like
That's
It
because I
sounds
suck
like-
at describing
it sounds like you're a white
gotta sell
boy
it, right?
watching high school girls. Oh wait, you are. Like,
No,
you know what I mean?
they're
Hey,
actually-
except-
they're actually
except-
middle
Ain't
school.
nothing
There's
wrong
a-
with that.
There's a
No,
first
no.
grader.
For the
Let me
record.
say, for anyone who's offended, I'm sorry, but there's white
I'm
people.
grievously offended.
There's white people, and then there's whiteys. Now you have white people, like Eric and Mac. They're Caucasian. They are of white heritage, and then you have whiteys, like Nick. Okay. His microphone is always effed up.
It's
The
not my
only
mic,
anime-
it's my settings.
The only animes he watches are little girls in high school.
Middle
He's-
school.
He's always late, and him and my brother are always like, every time they hung out, like when we were kids, they were always yelling at each other about something stupid, and it was funny. And it was comical to me. It wasn't even serious. It was comical because he was a whitey. Now this goes for every race. Okay, I am Mexican, but there's wetbacks and then there's Mexican people. Like, okay, like there's just the beaners, like Juan, and then there's me. You know what I mean?
Dude, Sam, I just gotta say, it takes Juan to know Juan.
Man, when I was editing the episodes, I was looking forward to that part where we're talking about the Japanese people with Mexican last names. I realized that was in the pre-roll, and it wasn't even in the episode. I wanted that joke so bad.
Oh, dude. Oh, you mean
Throw it in
because
right here.
okay, for the listeners who weren't part of that, obviously you weren't because you didn't hear it. But what I was talking about was Michiko to Hatchin, which is an anime that is like takes place in a fictional like Mexico City or Brazil.
Dude, that anime sounds stupid, Sam. The way
Brazil,
you describe it is
hue.
bad.
Well, the reason why Michiko to Hatchin is good is because it's not about Japanese little girls for perverted, overage white people. Anyways,
Overaged?
I'm overaged. Sorry,
he's
man.
overage.
I'm a Christmas cake. What can I say?
Friggin', it takes place like in a fictional like Mexico City or Brazil, and all the characters have like Japanese first names but Mexican last names, and that's my only gripe about it. The rest of it's good.
Like Hatsune Juan.
Yeah. Or like it'll be something like Hiroyuki Saka Gonzalez.
Yamazaki! Sanchez. You gotta say it like really sensually too.
Yeah.
Because
No, what if it was something
particularly
like
is
a
the
really
language
short?
or
Like, what
love.
if it was something like?
Takahashi Perez.
Yeah. What if it was something like a really short Japanese name, like Hiro, and then the Mexican name was like really long, like
Guadalajara.
yeah.
Tenochtitlan. Wait, what's that lake? Titicaca? There we go.
I don't even think that's... Is that even Mexican? I don't know.
I don't know. It's probably Incan or something. South Mexican. Mexico's
Oh,
Central
God.
America, right?
Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Stoner. Non Biyori sucks. Go ahead.
Okay, so Non Biyori doesn't suck. Please watch it. That's all I have to say. I'm just gonna beg.
So, what is there to it aside from Moeblob?
It's pretty much Moeblob. So
It's
if you
just
like that kind of thing. You
good Moeblob,
Yes,
which some
very
will
good.
say doesn't exist.
Okay,
Well,
see, that's what I was
If
afraid
you don't
K-On
like
was
Moe,
gonna be.
you will not like the show very much. Although you might like it more than K-On! Because it's not as Moe as K-On! But
No. K-On.
But the only
Okay,
reason you watch something
here's-
like K-On! is for
here's-
that Moe.
here's one more thing I have to say about it. The writer of it, I believe. She, is it he or she, also did a bunch of episodes for Mushishi. So if you like Mushishi, Non Biyori does have some of that similar
It's Mushishi, except instead of Mushi, it is just high school girls.
Well, yeah, Renge's got a recorder and she's just playing, and then
Yeah, but the reason why I like K-On! Is because I don't even think it's that moe, to be honest. Like the
Well,
character.
one big
Just
thing
wait,
that they
dude.
balance out
Just
the Moe
wait.
and K-On! Is the fact that they have real gear. Like, it's not just, oh, it's a guitar. No, it's specific guitars.
No, that guitar was a Sunburst Les Paul, and I knew it right away. And I knew she that's why. That's Eric said exactly, hit the nail on the head. Is exactly what I was gonna say.
It's cute girls with great gear.
Yeah, no, and like
Doing
the
cute
character,
things.
the character writing the character writing on each of them is really good, and the character interaction between the four of them is really good, and that's
Yeah.
like you want to see that. You want to see these characters have fun, like, and you are, you know what
Well,
I mean?
yeah.
Like,
If I'm gonna be real, Non Biyori is it's like one step below K-On! As far as overall quality. But
So you're saying it would be above Lucky Star and Azumanga Daioh?
I can't say that for sure. I haven't seen all of those. I've only seen snippets of those shows, so it might be maybe like on par with those shows. It's probably like on par, maybe a little bit below, depending on your taste. But if K-On's an
Okay.
8, then Non Biyori is like a 6 or 7.
look, all I'm saying is that if it's not better than Hotaru Perez, then I don't want to watch it.
Okay.
Not sure.
Anyway, speaking of Moeblob, Sam, your show is a Moeblob show, isn't it?
It is. It's a piece of shit. Let me tell you why, motherfucker.
Dude,
Because
do a rap. Do a rap and tell us why. Freestyle it, man.
yo, it's called School Live. Got the jive. On point. Wait, what rhymes with point?
Anyway,
Joint.
Oh, joint.
this is
Smoke
where
a
we're
joint.
gonna almost have to do a bit of a split with this episode. Is School Live. There's certain things about the story that if you don't know it, it's going to be much better going into it.
No,
so
and
we're
that's-
so it's basically, honestly, this could be. It's only one episode out, so there's still potential for it to screw it up. But based on that first episode, it may be another major classic.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna.
So
I'm
if
not
you're
gonna
listening,
say,
go watch it.
I'm not gonna say any. I'm not gonna say any spoilers, but I
No,
will.
no. Let me finish.
Oh, this one's
Just
also
go-
by Lurch.
Just go watch that show right now, and then maybe come back to this part. And if you are in a position in life where you can't just pick up a show off of no information, then I guess keep listening. But otherwise, just stop right here and go watch School Live
Yep. Pause right now.
and watch the full episode.
Pause.
Just
watch,
the
like,
first episode of
half the
School Live.
episode and
Because
then
because
stop
what's
watching.
about
Because
what's
I'll-
about
the
to
only thing I'll
happen
say
will
is it is not what it seems.
It is not what you think it is.
Dude, that's already kind of a spoiler, but I guess
Look,
I
no, okay.
expected it.
No, shut up.
Well, you know, that's why we're scaling it up how much we're spoiling it, so that they can
Right.
the moment they're like, okay, I'm convinced, they can go watch it.
If that doesn't convince you, it is ranked exactly number 1,000 on Mal as of this recording.
Okay. Well,
That's
anyways,
what's
Not
out there.
terrible. I mean, there's some shows that have not even aired yet that are higher than that.
No, I'm just
but-
1,000's a nice round number. I'm just saying, like, if you're OCD and you want to watch something like that, there you go.
Okay,
God
so now we're
damn
gonna
it,
hit. Now it's gonna be a bit more spoiler free. But let Sam explain your experiences with School Live.
okay. Here's the thing.
Feel free, listeners, to stop at any point and go watch the show.
Yep. I'll give you 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Anyway, here's the thing, man. And I've said this before, in the first, well, I think episode 2 or 1. I said, I'm a big lover of the cinema. I'm a big lover of entertainment, anything media related. Like, I'm a big lover of all that stuff. So I take it as their experience. Okay. So the thing is that I got up this morning, took a poop, dropped my fiance off at work, came back, took a poop, got in the shower, got in the shower,
Got out of the shower.
Got out of the
Waffle stop a little
shower.
bit.
got
Took a
out of the
poop
shower,
in the shower.
wiped. Then I turned on my computer because I said, "Yo, it's podcast day. Homeboy about to hit up the Slack and hit up his boy Eric to see what's on point, boy." So I got up on that bitch, and I was like, "What's the topic, B?" And Eric said, "What up, bitch? The topic is summer 2015 season." And I said, "That's what's up. That's what's poppin'. Bet we out here."
That
So then
paper.
I got that paper. So then I came back, made some fucking spaghetti with some fucking ground fucking beef, went and picked up my fiance from work. We ate that shit! Then I got on recording. No, wait, I messed that up.
You didn't put watching the show.
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, like you watch the show.
I ruined the whole story. Anyways, okay. So
Tom never even watched the show. He's
yeah.
just
So then so I got home from work. I got off a little early, so I thought, I'm gonna watch this really quick, and then I'll start cooking before I have to go pick up Trisha, so then we can just eat right when we get home or whatever. But I found it on the website I normally watch anime at, and it starts off like that typical moe, like, okay, here's a 14, 15, 16-year-old girl. Her alarm goes off and she realizes she's late for school. Oh, big fucking surprise, whatever. Anyways. She's late for school. She gets up. She runs to school. There's a cute dog. I think it's a little...
to establish, she lives in the school.
Oh, yeah, she does
So
live.
she's part of the school living club.
She's part of the school living club, and this school living club is where they live in school and utilize all the different clubs to learn independence and things like that in the real world. So there's like a agriculture club upstairs. There's a garden upstairs. There's a communications room, like broadcasting. A music room and all that other stuff, whatever a high school will have. She's going through the day, she's talking to classmates, she talks to class. We figure that it kind of establishes her character throughout most of the first part of the anime. I'm just kind of like, okay, this is really lame, I don't want to watch this anymore, right? But then the other members of the school living club are in different uniforms, and I'm just like, okay, that's really weird. Every other student, besides these particular three, have a different uniform. And then one of the characters in the school living club, who's one of the different uniform ones, her name is Kurumi. The main character's name is Yuki. And, you're following her throughout the whole day, talking and going through school, all this stuff. She's kind of narrating it at the beginning. This character, Kurumi, was, like, just saying random shit. Like, she started saying things like, oh, yeah, there was no casualties today, thank God. And it's like, what? Like, people die at this school? Like,
People die when they are killed.
Right, and I'm just... Fate jokes.
Yeah, but it's like you kind of write some of these things off, and you're kind of just like, whatever.
Right, I didn't think anything of it. Like, there was... But then she started saying the weird shit. And this weird shit has been happening throughout the whole episode. I just didn't notice it until she started saying this weird stuff.
There's a lot of visual clues.
Yep, and I'm just like, okay, wait, I'm just going to keep watching because Eric told me to watch it, and I have to watch it. I didn't want to be that guy who, like, turns it off halfway through. When it got... Every time Yuki, the main character, leaves to go do something with other classmates or do something in a club or in a different room, the other three of the living club kind of get, like, this sad face on their faces, like, oh, there she goes again, like, there's Yuki with her smile and... she's so chipper and stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Like, then at the very end, something happens where Yuki forgets her backpack in one of the classrooms. And one of the girls goes after her because she doesn't want her to walk around the school by herself. And you see Yuki talking to, like, other classmates and stuff. But then it kind of pans out, and you realize that Yuki's talking to nobody. And in reality... what had happened was a zombie apocalypse happened, and the sole survivors of this school are those 4 students, and Yuki
And their teacher.
and their teacher. And
Yeah,
the way that
it's not Sawa-chan.
and actually that was weird too. Yeah, their teacher was weird too because they weren't, like, looking at her at first, but then I realized that she was there.
Oh, and the dog. What about the dog?
The dog, Totoro.
Totoro.
The dog's real.
The dog's
Best
real.
dog, by the way.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I gotta say this. If you notice, like right before that, well, right in the middle of that scene where at the end Yuki's in that classroom, right? And then one of the imaginary classmates says, "Is Toaru Maru really a dog?" How does that make you feel, considering you heard that
he's
line?
still really a dog.
Is he though?
Yeah,
That
no,
was
Is
just
he a
playing
dog?
into the joke of like
It
the
could be a
boyfriend
boy.
thing.
Is he a dog? Think about it. I mean,
He's a
if
broom.
she
There's nothing
has,
in the episode outside of how the other characters react to the dog that would suggest it's not a dog.
man, maybe it's like a zombie dog. Maybe it's
Okay,
like
yeah. Anyways,
maybe
I
maybe
don't-
it's like
I don't think that's
maybe it's like K9 from Doctor Who and it's their protector.
Yeah.
I
Maybe it's
mean,
just
But one of the
cat,
big things in terms of like why the show executed that whole concept really well is because they could have just had the whole Moe thing going on and then at the end just be like, oh yeah, actually zombie apocalypse and it's all in our head. But they wove like all these hints in throughout it that I went back and actually rewatched most of the episode and just like all these moments where something happened that you didn't really notice because you just weren't in that right frame of mind. But then when you notice, you're like, oh shit, like certain
like,
characters
okay.
acting like where you're just looking at like, do you have no social like awareness at all? And you realize it's because she doesn't see any of those other people because they're not there.
And also, like, the chalkboard said a bunch of like cryptic text on it, and
Yeah, or
the garden
I think
club
when
had
they
a cross in the
when they were chasing the
garden.
dog, there was like one window that was just broken, and you're just like,
Yeah,
that's weird.
No, yeah, exactly. So,
And then there's a hallway like blocked up with desks, and you're just like,
and yeah,
That's really
exactly.
weird,
And so
too.
after that, after she goes and gets her backpack, and you realize that this school is pretty much decimated. There's nothing there. This girl Yuki obviously has a psychotic problem or is going through a psychotic episode right now because of what happened. It goes back to Kurumi with a shovel, and they're like looking outside the window, and there's just a bunch of zombies just walking
Yeah.
around.
and they even did that earlier when they're on the roof. She looks down, like after Yuki leaves, like they kind of go back to being a little bit solemn, and she looks out over the roof, and they zoom out, and you actually see zombies out on the track, but you don't, from the distance, you don't recognize them as being zombies.
No,
you just think of them
they're
as
normal
students,
people.
but they don't
Yeah.
hide that at all. It's just like they're zombies. When you look it
No.
back, it's like they look like zombies
And
once
that's-
you know that.
And the scene that Eric is talking about is also one of the scenes I was talking about where when Yuki left to go off and do something. Oh, she went to go chase the dog again because he went down the stairs. That was one of those scenes where they're just like, oh, there goes Yuki again. Like, she's always so happy and stuff. And they're just like playing along with her because they don't want her to feel it's really depressing. Like they're playing along with it because they don't want to mess her up. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to.
And reasonably speaking, they've probably tried that already. Like telling her that, trying to explain to it, and she
It's like
just
the scene
probably
on,
almost like
Here-
melts down, and then they just kind of were like, maybe we should just let her stay happy
Yeah.
and just
yeah.
try
I
and
just
keep her
imagine her
safe.
sitting at a desk and they all just take turns slapping her.
no,
It's
it's
like,
like
snap out of it,
it's
snap
like
out of
that scene from Airplane.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
where
You're-
where the passengers freaking out and they all take turns beating the shit out of them.
and their weapons get progressively. Some guy has like a gun. Oh man.
Oh
Dude, would you
man.
guys say that the zombies were lurching around?
God damn it, dude.
Get it? Because the studio is also called Lurch.
Nick, get out.
Shut up.
And I was trying to get like a moment to weave that joke into there, but you guys just kept going. So made it
Yeah,
awkward.
we're trying to hit the important stuff.
Non Biyori sucks.
Yeah, like when I had heard about School Life, like what I had seen was just an article about it where they're talking about the uniform and why hers is different, and her blue is an exact inversion of the color that is the other girl's green.
Yep.
And in the description of it, like they just kind of say School Life, Moe survival horror. You're just like, what? And I kind of remembered that, and I was like, I should check this out. And then when I was watching it, I was like, maybe I misread that. Maybe they meant like Moe survival just because they're trying to live in the school, not not that same kind of survival that I was anticipating. And then that moment happens, and you're just like, holy shit.
No, and that's the thing too, is like what I was trying to say earlier. Eric told me to watch that. I said okay, and then I left for work. I didn't read anything about it. Right when I got home, I turned it on right away and just started watching it. Going into it, I had no idea. It was just executed very well. I mean, even the opening theme, you're just like, oh great, this is another Moe anime. the way it starts, the way the opening theme is, you know what I mean? It's just it does a very good job of just tricking the crap out of you.
While
feel
still
like I got
putting all those
Madooka'd.
hints in.
Yep.
I feel like I got Madooka'd.
Yeah,
This show
you got-
totally Madooka'd me.
Being Yuki is suffering.
Yep. And it's like it was just done so well, and even well, like Eric said, they did such a good job of even like including all those hints in there. Some of those hints being blatantly open, like what Eric mentioned earlier, like you see zombies walking around out front, but you don't know that. You just think they're other
Yeah,
students.
like within the context, you just don't recognize it as what it is.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. And it was really good, and like Eric said, I hope they don't screw it up.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential in just like if they can maintain that same kind of like feeling throughout the rest of the next 11 episodes. But there's also a lot of potential for them to just fall flat on their face.
Right. And I'm getting so sick of like the zombie craze right now, but
Coral, get in the
But you can
house,
tell right off the
Coral!
bat,
Coral?
this is not.
Coral!
Yeah, this is not a show about zombies.
no, it really isn't.
Like, because they were entirely just a backdrop to the entire first episode. You don't
Yeah.
even realize it's a zombie apocalypse.
No,
Wait,
the thing
isn't it-
I think it's more about them trying to just take care of her.
But it's horror. It has to be about zombies, right?
Well, inevitably they're gonna have to, but that's like not the focus.
Well, that's true for like any zombie
Well,
movie or show.
that's
If you
questionable.
think about it.
No, The
They're all
Walking Dead
just,
is
like-
called The Walking Dead because it's about The Walking Dead.
No, The Walking
Like-
Dead
It's
is
really
about
like-
a soap opera of people spewing bullshit with the occasional
Coral.
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 So then let's just quickly hit on some of the other shows from the season before we wrap this up.
Okay, can I go first?
Sure.
I'm gonna mention
What-
a underrated hit. It is called Snow White with the Red Hair, or let me pronounce this right, Akagami no Shirayuki Hime. It is like a historical show, I believe. It's like a fantasy historical romance shoujo show, so it's like it feels really shoujo, and it's about this girl who's like kind of like Snow White. She's got red hair. Everybody wants her red hair. She's an herbalist. It's shoujo through and through. Good show overall. Studio Bones.
So far, okay.
Watch it.
Another is Monster Musume, Everyday Life with Monster Girls.
Oh, shit, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, this is
Dude,
the
Monster Musume. That's
finally
awesome.
bringing Monster Girls into the mainstream highlight. Monster Girls are real and they want to date us. It's basically just about one guy that has been, apparently at this point, 2 episodes in, is tricked into being the exchange host for 3 different species of monster girl that all want to get laid.
Whoa.
Dude, this one's by Lurch too. Holy shit, Lurch is getting around.
That's what she said.
So is that guy with the monster girls.
Nice. Nice one.
Dude, okay. If you guys had a
So
pick
monster girls, of
girl,
course,
who'd you
started
pick?
as a fetish thing for hentai and has expanded a bit, and now it's finally going to the mainstream limelight.
They're finally
um,
trying to kill
see-
the birth rate in Japan.
Yeah. So
Real
there's
women
the
won't be enough anymore. You need
never
a
enough.
tail and
So
hook.
there's Lamia, which are top is normal human, bottom is serpent. Then there's harpies, which are basically just normal girls with then midway down their arm it becomes a wing and they have normal feet like talons. And then centaurs and spider girls and mermaids and slime
Yeah,
girls.
There's like whole
Man,
wikis on
like-
this stuff. It's
So
great.
out of
Like-
them right now, I'd have to say Poppy the harpy is the hottest because she has still normal human legs, and I'm a big fan of
Poppy the
normal human
harpy.
legs.
Poppy. She's
Plus-
Poppy
says
the
that like
harpy.
10
Poppy,
times.
poppy.
Yeah, Poppy the
Poppy.
Poppy.
Oh man, when he
the
featured that popsicle.
Poppy the Parpy.
What's that?
All right.
Is
Yeah,
it
like-
a
This
Two
is
Love Brew where
don't
they
watch
feature
that
the
show
popsicle?
with your parents around.
It's a similar scene. Yeah. Oh god, don't
Like-
watch the show in public.
Not even gonna lie. All right. I clicked on episode 1 of that show today,
Monster Musume.
and literally the first 5 minutes of it, I was like, "What in the hell did I just watch?" I feel like I'm watching Okusama ga Seto Kaicho all over again. It's
Yeah,
like
that would
what,
be
what?
Another show from this season. My wife is student council president. Short name Waifu Smut. I don't know if that's really a thing yet, but it's going to be the thing.
Because we make it
And
a thing.
Kind of like another show, Bikini Warriors. It's like Monster Musume, but less tentacles and shit.
Yeah, though that
And
bikini armor.
It's almost like
It's a
my
high
favorite
defensive
hentai.
rating.
Look at my vagina.
That one's classic, dude. What studio did that one?
I don't remember.
Gonzo.
Yeah, just Gonzo sounds
Dean.
like they would do hentai.
Dean.
And then what do we got? Well, yeah. So Waifu Smut's 8-minute episodes, and they have uncensored on Crunchyroll. Beware, if you just hit Q on the show and then go to Crunchyroll, it's going to show the uncensored first, which I'm not sure. So far, it's just extra panty shots, I guess. There's some other shows going on. Speaking of censoring, Prison School.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
that
almost
censoring
too
was-
much censoring.
That was crazy. They did like the opposite of Tokyo Ghoul. Tokyo Ghoul made everything like black or just like
Well, that's because it's black for gore, white for sexual stuff.
yeah. That's so dumb
Yeah.
how they do
So
that.
Prison
They should
School is
just-
basically some guys that get into a all-girls school that's finally allowing males in, and they get caught peeping, and they get stuck into a prison inside the school instead of being expelled.
Apparently the manga is hilarious.
Yeah, the show, I don't know. I'm not feeling it just yet.
Dude, I actually really liked the first episode. I thought it was funny. When the guy with the hood on it, or he's wearing a hood, basically they're getting punished by this one girl, and they like to be punished because they're like so desperate.
Yeah, because it's the only chance that they get to have contact with these girls.
It was pretty good. I think it'll still be good as long as they don't go crazy with the censoring. But even with that, it was fine. I liked it.
Yeah. And then Overlord, which is another trapped in a video game
Studio
thing,
Madhouse.
except instead of being a human, he's a dark magician who is one of the most powerful beings
Time
in the
to
world. type of a thing.
duel.
So it could be very interesting coming from a different perspective, where right off the bat he's kind of just like, I need to be a good ruler. And one thing that they did do is removed all the game elements from it right off the bat.
Yeah, there's
Like
no
most of the trapped in the video game, like they still have a HUD and they still use everything the same way that they did. This one is just like immediately at that moment when he became trapped in the game, all that disappeared.
Oh, I think another one that I like to mention is it's called
Charlotte?
Lagoon is the worst. No, yeah, Charlotte's pretty good actually.
Dude,
I was
I
gonna
wanna start
mention
watching
Roka no
Charlotte.
Yusha. What?
I'm gonna start watching Charlotte because it's gonna be a Weiss. They just announced it as a Weiss set.
So you have to watch
Oh,
it
yeah,
just
dude.
so you can
Gotta get them
know
covered.
what it's about.
Yep.
Do you have like one of those wrist straps? You just like Yu-Gi-Oh and you pull off the cards.
No, you need to get the Yu-Gi-Oh playing field thing.
Yeah, dude. I used to, or my
Oh.
cousin used to have one. My little cousin used to have one because like that was like his time. And dude, I used to like go over to his house and just wear it like all around, just go like, look how fucking cool I am. Like,
Man,
When
like,
you were weaving
I'm
out.
not even gonna lie. Like, anytime I think of Yu-Gi-Oh now, I immediately think of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, that
Oh,
vagina
yes.
monologue that they
yeah,
did.
the vagina. Screw the vagina. I have a vagina.
Card games on motorcycles.
So I'm thinking almost all of us are really hoping School Live is as good as it has the potential to be right now.
Yep, I am definitely hoping that.
Dude,
So I
I'm
think
still on that.
is that our
non-Biyori
pick?
man.
Is that our pick for the season so far?
What's
On
that?
our first impressions,
that's
our
our
pick
pick. I
for the
think that's our
season,
pick.
School Live.
Yeah. I
What-
gotta
what
agree
was
on
that
that
first
one.
part you said? RP?
Our pick.
Oh, our pick.
RP.
Reverse polarity. No, dude, my pick is Non Biyori still. I gotta go.
Oh
with,
my
gotta go with
god.
my gut.
Non
Fart
Biyori sucks.
Biyori, everyone.
Yanpasu. That's all I gotta say.
Gakko
Yampasu.
All right.
Okay, so I've been Kwoka. With me, I've had Mac, Sam, and the one with no taste, Nick, who just wants to disagree with everybody.
There's always that one person on the podcast who's just
There's
like,
always that one person.
Yeah, I'm like the
Yeah.
one guy. He sounds like he's in a train tunnel on a bus. Just like, hey guys, sorry I'm late for the podcast. Sounds
I
like
didn't
an
bother
asshole,
doing
like-
any tech checks before we got here.
Hey, I thought it was all good, but then it wasn't because I had to update my computer and stuff.
all
And
right,
this has
all
been
right, all right.
the Anime Summit podcast.
Never going back again to the time when I was lost. What a fool I was, blindly living in a lie. It always felt so wrong, but now I know what's right. Somehow heaven's above me, knew I was destined for glory. Gave me a world I could call mine. It's my game, it's my life. I'll say goodbye to the old days. It's my way or the highway. The
If you like the show, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Anime Summit or leave a review on iTunes.